before I post the video I'm about to post, my faith has been restored twice over. My daughter's moving rib. So I have tried and nobody has helped me. I ended up asking my white friend to mention that with black children because she generally also looks for black surgeons to treat her children. So I asked her if she has any ideas regarding who I can go to and if she can ask her pediatrician friends if they know who I can go to for my daughter's rib. And so she sent me her son's surgeon's details. She actually writes on her website that she doesn't deal with bones and stuff. So I knew she wouldn't deal with the ribs. But I'm desperate. So I sent an email asking if they perhaps have an idea of where I can go, what I can do for my daughter's slipping rib syndrome, if she knows anything, if anyone who deals with it. Of course, she herself doesn't, but she took the time to respond kindly. And she said she's sorry she herself doesn't operate on that. Have I tried surgeons at Netcare, Chris Barnard, or Red Cross Hospital? I can Google the two places. Of course, there's no direct email for anyone at Red Cross Hospital that says Dr. So and so deals with cardiothoracic issues and knows about slipping rib. Here's their email address at Red Cross. So I emailed back and said, I have tried a surgeon at Netcare, Chris Barnard. They're the ones who said they also don't want to help me. But I haven't tried Red Cross Hospital, so thank you for the option. And yeah, but for me, it was the fact that she did take the time to respond and she responded kindly. Her name is Dr. Nondela. Dr. Nondela. She is, yeah, you can look her up. Now, secondly, after this video that I took, that I posted, that I'm about to post, which I recorded earlier on today, I got a phone call from a Dr. Aaron Ndluni. Now, Dr. Ndluni, is the one who operated on me in 2001. He operated on my abdomen. He is not a thoracic surgeon, pediatric or otherwise, but I emailed him because I know he is a good, conscientious surgeon. He had a lovely personality. He was friendly. There were no airs and graces, you know. He was just a nice, friendly man who happened to operate on me. So I emailed him. And you can also see online, he does breast and gastrointestinal surgery. And I told him the same story. I'm looking for help for my daughter who has slipping rib syndrome. No one here seems to want to help. I know there's Penn Center for Chest Trauma overseas, but yeah. We played phone tag for a while. He tried to phone. I didn't see the phone call. I didn't know who had phoned. I just saw that it said, the reception, the name, Dr. Aaron Clooney's rooms type thing. I phoned back. They didn't know who had phoned me, so that was the end of that. I then phoned again, and he was now, and then they emailed me to say the doctor himself had tried to phone. So I emailed back to say, okay. And then I phoned, but then he was busy doing scopes when I phoned. So I emailed again and said, all right, I am not giving up. We keep missing each other. Is there a slot during which I can phone the doctor? Or could he please phone me again? I need to get my daughter. I need to help my daughter. So he phones today, guys. He phoned. And he said, of course, he can't help. But he's just like, there cannot be nobody in South Africa who can deal with this slipping rib syndrome. What is that? How? So he asked who I'd contacted. So I told him I'd tried this one, Fanamarva. He said she must wait until she hits puberty. And then maybe the pain will significantly reduce in intensity. Told him I tried a doctor in Panorama, and when they saw my email, they told me we are a group of specialist surgeons. Please consult your GP. And I told him I consulted a pediatric surgeon, cardiothoracic surgeon at Netcare, Chris Barnard, and they wouldn't help me. I have emailed, and then I told him I did contact Dr. Nondela, and she suggested I Google those two. So yeah, she was kind, but she couldn't help me either, and I haven't heard back from Red Cross Children's Hospital. So he said, yeah, no, if it was his daughter, he would be looking for help. And I thought, see, that is it. If it was his daughter, he is the first, maybe Dr. Nondela obviously was thinking the same thing, I don't know, but he's the first surgeon to put himself in my shoes as the parent of a sick child. And he said he will look everywhere because otherwise Penn Center, Chase Center will charge us. We will give our lives to them. So he said he will email the details of a particular doctor, not pediatric, but he's very good with thoracic issues. We can go see him, and if he can't help, then maybe he can direct us in the right direction. And he said he will also try and find out how to get into Children's Red Cross Children's Hospital. It is a government facility, so it will take a while to even get a date to be seen. And for me, the main reason why it's my last choice because of the queues and the waiting times when you are there. What I wanted to say and to add on to this video that I have posted is that I'm about to share and add onto this is I'm thankful for Dr. Ndluni as well, who took the time to phone me. He could have just emailed, but he took the time to phone me. He took the time to hear me. He took the time to ask who I've questioned or where I've gone for help. And he's busy. I don't know that he will remember to find out how to get into Red Cross Children's Hospital. And of course, if there is anyone there who can help us. But I appreciate that he's suggested someone, and maybe that doctor will have a plan. Sorry for this very long voice thing that doesn't have my face. I apologize. I hope you're enjoying the random pictures of my children and my family and what we get up to. I think I'll post that while I'm talking. Now for the video itself.
Hi everyone, this is me. Wow, the doctor, the pulmonologist, lung specialist, had said that if I can't walk and talk at the same time, then I should let him know. Today, when I came back from the endodontist, I couldn't walk and talk without running out of breath. It was scary. It is scary because that is a sign of further lung function reduction. But what I'm telling myself is that my lungs are still sick, and so that is why this has happened. So I will hope so. I will hope so. But anyway, that's not why I did this. Well, I am doing this because it's part of my health update. But here goes. I am happy for some outrage. Outrage. It is so rare for that to happen. Outrage from a medical professional on my behalf. That's not who they are. We were talking this morning with my husband about a book that he's reading. If you know the title, you can write it in the comments. No, he's listening. He's listening to this book while he runs. And it's by a pilot. And the pilot said that for them, it's normal that if you make a mistake, you tell everyone so that you avoid the mistake and you learn from the mistake. And all the other pilots then also learn from their mistakes. Surprise, surprise. Then they don't do the same thing ever again, and no one else will come under risk of dying or die. So that's how they are. But what he has seen with doctors is the complete opposite. His father died, if I'm not missing it, his father died when he was undergoing a routine operation, and basically it was almost like a cover-up. That's the sense I got. I don't know if it was the actual author or one of the people who he interviewed, but yes, it was like a cover-up. And what doctors have realized, or what he mentioned was, the author is a junior surgeon who was with his surgeon, a senior surgeon, operating, and the senior surgeon was basically killing the patient. And the junior surgeon said, "Surgeon, sir, I think your gloves are bad for this woman. She might be allergic to latex." And the surgeon refused. "I've been operating for X number of years and no one's ever had this reaction. It can't be the latex." The woman again came close to the brink of death and they had to administer something to revive her. And again, this junior surgeon said, "I'm pretty sure she's reacting to your latex gloves. And this surgeon, he is God, and that is the thing. So many surgeons, even other doctors say so. So many surgeons have a God complex, and you don't question God. God is infallible. And so the senior surgeon was refusing until the junior surgeon wanted him to be reported to a more senior person during the surgery, because he was telling him it's just 5 minutes to change your gloves. That's all it is. 5 minutes versus a human's life. So they did change the gloves. The thing didn't happen again, and lo and behold, she indeed was allergic to latex. The surgeon could have killed her, and then they would have said, oh, her heart gave in, whatever reason a surgeon would have given, who was hiding that he is not God. He is fallible. And by hiding it, he prevents other surgeons from learning. By denying it, he himself prevents himself from learning. And yes, death is the worst thing that can happen, but there are many other bad things that doctors do that should not be done. They don't take accountability for it, and then the other doctors keep it hush hush. As I said before, I lost a friend who made it very clear, she's a doctor, that she was not happy with me for wanting a doctor to be accountable for his very poor practice, in that he should have fixed something and he was not doing so. And for her, this was like a crime. They take it personally. They take it as an attack on themselves. They don't ever want to see things, not all, they don't want to see things from the patient's perspective, the patient who paid for this surgery. So today, it's a minor thing, but it's not minor because it's a lot of money wasted. I went to see my endodontist. I got an endodontist because a dentist messed up. I had a root canal done, right? And I did mention this before. There are metals that are meant to go to the bottom of the root, and he hadn't made them reach the bottom of the root, and so that portion that had nothing inside it got infected, and yeah. So the endodontist was fixing this big mess. That dentist never had to pay. I'm the one who was paying to fix his mess. So that is how I got myself an endodontist. So now today I go because I had a crown put on my back tooth. I have read that AS patients have teeth enamel issues. So I guess that's what's happening with me, because as you know, I'm not a sweet person. I don't do anything bad to my teeth, but I've always had tooth issues from childhood. And the dentist would say, you mustn't eat so many sweets. And I'd be thinking, we are poor. We don't eat sweets. I didn't have sweets. So yeah. Anyway, and I went to the endodontist today because I wanted her to see if this tooth can be crowned or if it's now too messed up, too broken, too low down, after a crown that was put on by a dentist. Now here's the thing. I went to a dentist and I asked her to do a crown to protect my teeth. And she did the crown. And as it was first it was the temporary one, right? So she puts on the temporary crown and I say, no, it's too high. My teeth are not coming together. I can't bite. And she tells me, oh, you have to just get used to it. Brushed me off. Don't brush off your patients. So I left. And the day wore on, and my teeth, no matter how much I chewed or bit down, it wasn't sinking any further. And my jaw was now staying open, and I started experiencing pain. In the evening, thankfully, I found a dentist that was still open at around 7 p.m. Imagine that. So I went to the dentist in excruciating pain now. And I said to him, there's something wrong with this crown that this other dentist put in. He looked, and he didn't even have to do, that paper thing that they do where you have to do a bite where you shake you grind your teeth and all. He didn't even have to do that to see that the bite was too high. The crown was too high. It was too high. My teeth are not coming together. So he's like, who in the world what kind of shoddy workmanship is this? So he, kind of shaved down the crown as much as he could, and then shaved the upper tooth to so that they could fit, which is now a problem because that tooth is sensitive and he shaved it too close to the root, and that is now need of a root canal because of this other dentist and her super high crown. So, and the thing is, you're meant to file down this other tooth so that, it can fit better. But she hadn't done that. So I then said, okay, I knew I was right, but she didn't listen to me. So when I come in for my permanent crown, can I please have a different dentist completely, because this one is going to just muck it up. So I had a different dentist in their practice, and she did the crown. She did the permanent. She put it on. The permanent that was, the mold was done by that first one who ignored me. That was that. And then it broke. A few months later, it just fell out my mouth. It fell out my mouth. It didn't break. It just fell out. And I've never had a crown that's done that. The endodontist has put crowns on. They've never fallen out. I was eating a sweet potato, and it fell out. So I kept the crown, and I asked the endodontist. I had a checkup with her because I had a hole in my jaw caused by that first dentist who hadn't done the root canal properly. So I went for a checkup just to make sure that the hole had closed. Finally, that my bone had reformed and refilled in. And she said, well, given it's been less than a year since I had the crown put on, the dentist should replace the crown or put it back on for free. That's what she would do. That's best practice. Which sounds like the surgery thing as well. If you don't do right, you are meant to redo the surgery, and then you just charge for the anesthetist and the ward fees. So, that made sense. I went back to the dentist. The dentist said, nah, we can't put it back in, and nah, you don't need a crown anyway. You can leave now. And then they charged me for that. And I thought, you charged me for something you didn't do right, not to fix it, but to tell me that you won't fix it. That's not ethical. It's not according to what you should be doing as dentists based on what the endodontist said, unless endodontists and dentists have totally different rules of practice. So I left it, and I went today to the endodontist to ask her if she could give me a quote for a crown. She is the first person, the first medical professional who was angry. Who did this? Why did they refuse? How could they refuse? What madness is that? What is her name? She actually asked for her name, and then she asked how to spell it. So I told her how to spell it. She asked what age range she is. I told her everything. She's the first person to ever do that. When I went to the gastroenterologist earlier on last year, when I mentioned the needle that a surgeon had left in my abdomen, he was like, he left a needle inside you? And I said, yes. And then he says, who was that? Actually, never mind. I don't need to know who it was. That's how they are. All of them. I've told even the surgeon who removed the needle, he didn't hold him to account. There was no, dude, I'm about to remove your needle. Don't you think you should pay for this patient's fees? Nothing. I'm the one who had to pay for that surgeon's mistake. I'm the one who had to pay with pain over that surgeon's mistake. And same with the MRIs that were missed, that I did do and did show that I had inflammation in my SI joints and erosions. The doctor even instead made up an excuse. Oh, well, it wasn't there. I'm like, no, it was there all along from 2011. He didn't know what to say. How about, I'm sorry they didn't look properly, or I'm sorry that they didn't send your MRI images to someone else for a second look. So yeah, it's sad, but I'm glad. I really appreciate Dr. Sonia Brits for being human, for realizing that now I paid for a crown that is useless, and now I'm going to have to pay again. And that's not right. And I'm thankful to Dr. Sonia Brits for just seeing that and saying it. It's not right. That is a lot of money that I'm now going to have to pay again. It's not right. But I will recommend Dr. Sonia Brits. If you ever need an endodontist, please go to her. And I told her, when I was telling her that, I told her that is the story of my life. Right now, as I sit here, I've got elbow pain, actually in both elbows, but I had an ulnar nerve ulnar nerve release. My ulnar nerve got caught in my bone, in the joint here, right? And what happens is, if you don't fix that, your hand will just fall apart. You'll get paralyzed. Your hand will stop working. So you do need to fix it. So I went to a surgeon, elbow surgeon, and he was gonna release the nerve from where it's stuck. It's like a long nerve that goes from here to here, hey, from here down to here. It's a very important nerve, and he was gonna release it and then move it to another place where it would not ever again get stuck. I did that surgery on September 16, 2022. My arm has never been the same again. It is sore, it is sensitive, and the recovery was hell. Nerve pain is horrendous. It was horrific. I joined groups just to find out if my level of pain is normal, and all of us, 100% of us, wished we'd never had to do it, but we have no choice. We need our arms. We need to be able to use our hand. So there's no option. There is no choice. But the pain lasts forever. Guys, just wearing something like this on my hand on my elbow would cause excruciating pain, sleepless nights. Just even resting my hand on my elbow on a pillow, soft pillow, caused excruciating pain. I ended up looking for like a donut pillow where I'll have to sleep on my back and make sure my elbow is in the air while my arm rests on the actual cushion part of this donut-shaped pillow. It lasted too long. I was scared that I'll never be fine. And so as I said, he was meant to move it, the surgeon. I woke up and he tells me, oh, you don't have enough fat on your elbow, so I didn't move the nerve from out of where it had gotten stuck. So he unstuck it and then left it where it had gotten stuck. I've got arthritis in my elbows. I assume that is what is causing the friction, because it is a root, it is one of the causes, arthritis. It's correlated, it's not a cause, but those who have arthritis are more likely to have it. So he left it there. And now here I am, 2024, and the nerve is definitely trapped again. When I went to see my hand surgeon after this, immediately after the operation, he asked, but why didn't he move the nerve? Why didn't he do the transposition? And I said, I have no clue. He said, I don't have fat. But when I went back online and I Googled, I saw that you then move the nerve to like over here or on the muscle so that it's not hurting. Because he was saying, if I don't have fat, the original surgeon, then obviously when my nerve gets knocked on things, it'll be excruciating. But then he could have put it on an elbow here, on the muscle. That's what my research said. That's what other surgeons do. And that is what my hand surgeon would have expected him to do. But again, all I got was a, okay. And that was it. He didn't ask, who is the surgeon, so I don't send any patients to him ever. And that is the thing. By them closing their eyes, shutting their ears to what their colleagues are doing wrong, they will then send innocent, unknowing patients to their bad colleagues who will not do them right, who won't treat them well. My medical aid paid for an ulnar nerve release and transposition and moving it, but that didn't happen. And now we're gonna have to pay again. And I will have to pay. Thankfully, it's a hospital plan, so it doesn't take away from my actual savings. But there might be a hospital fee, a co-payment, I don't know. And I will pay in the time I will spend unable to move my arm, immobilized for those whatever number of weeks, and I will pay in the pain that I will feel for maybe a year, 2 years, and the fact that I'm still not recovered from that operation, then that means I'll never recover. I'll never be normal. And that is not right. And so I appreciate any medical professional that takes off their doctor robe of infallibility and sees the patient and says, but that's not right. Who is this person? Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sonia Britz, for caring. It means a lot.